What is up, my cutouts? Cardboard Ninja here, coming at you live from the Road to Singularity update. I downloaded it last night and played a couple games just to see how the video game plays, and I must say right now, things aren't that different, except hovers can get ripped out of the sky. So, for those of us who've been hoping that hovers could eventually be ripped out of the sky, this is the update for you. Uh, what I want to do real fast in this video was go over the rewards to the Battle Pass. I know what everyone's thinking. I've already seen my favorite YouTuber do this a long time ago in a galaxy far away, yada yada yada, because they had pre-access beta or something like that. Well, I don't. I'm a pleb, just like you. So, I'm going to go over this real fast, but I'm going to give you guys a spoiler alert because the fact that I like giving you guys the information up front and not waiting for, not giving you this information towards the end of the video so that you can all click off this video as soon as possible. I'm going to let you know that I believe this battle pass is actually worth getting, even for new players. One of the things people have done when they went through the battle pass is say, oh, look at this, blah, blah, blah. You finally get an engine at 23. You finally get one set of legs at 29 and the final set at 34. It's still stupid. And you get the Charbitus at 51, and of course the Chronos 59 and 68. You finally get the whole reason why you even bought the battle pass, which is the gun. Standard fare, right? Here's the deal. In older battle passes, they used to give you teal items that you could play with, have fun in the game, and then they stopped doing that. I keep mentioning the Therm, I keep mentioning the Tempura. One of the things that people did not go over was these special merchant cases. Special merchant cases that I did not see because no one went over them. These aren't just nothings, they're actually teal weapons. They give you access to a teal weapon of your choice, teal cabin of your choice, generator if you need one, one of the best engines in the game, the hardcore, chameleon. So for new players, this is actually really, really good. And you get 3 of these throughout the course of the battle pass. One you get early on, so if you're brand new to the game and you're like, I need a teal weapon, well, the Hulk is a great single weapon, etc. Though if you're late to the game, or not late to the game, let's say you're an early adopter and you've been playing for years, you're like, well, what am I supposed to get from this crap? I don't want any of this stuff. Well, you do. You can pick up a chameleon because you can end up fusing those because chameleons, even Mark 1 or Mark 2, are always useful. Beyond that, you get that early on. You get that at 30, and I believe you get them after you finish the BP. You get one at 108, and of course, the final free thing that you get in the entire battle pass at level 128, which is the highest level you can attain. They said this in the live stream. The highest level that you can attain without expending United States dollars is 128, which gets you an epic of your choice. So, if you're brand new to the game and you're hard to the paint enjoying Crossout and you're actually going to play it, this is actually not a bad deal. So, and that's not including all of the other stuff that they give you. So, there is that. The other things that have been changed in this update, because there are many things that have actually been changed. Obviously, you've got your structural parts, and structural parts have their own resistances. However, one of the interesting things that I saw that I couldn't pin down was a new icon. And I mentioned this during the Road to Singularity event, because they wouldn't mouse over the icons, because they're like, no, we're not going to do it. The icon, that's not what I want to do. Never going to get used to that. The icon that I was looking at is this. Bonus to ram damage. They have actually included in every part exactly how much bonus or penalty you get to ram damage. And your standard most things that used to have the highest bonus were the twin blade wings, hatchets, and sizers. Basically all of these. And I believe they all came with like 200%, yeah. Hence the reason why melee is pretty brutal. And turns out bumpers, some of them are actually okay at ramming. The bumper spike, for example, gives 100% bonus ram damage. So if you're ramming and you want a bumper at the same time as you want a melee weapon, the bumper spike is your go-to, right? Frontal protection system. These things actually hurt. They don't hurt as much as melee, and they shouldn't, but they actually hurt. Puncher comes in there at 50%, but as usual, like some of them are, everything else should be like 10% or lower. The flare is 50%, and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to go over every single one of them, but it's something that you guys should keep an eye out for in the future. Also, while we're here, I believe the Tusk also boasts a 200% bonus ram damage. So the Tusk itself counts as a melee weapon, just base. And then I don't think, for whatever reason, I don't know why they would do this, but the Cerberus doesn't have ram damage. Prior to this patch, the Cerberus did have a bar that said it's melee damage or whatever. Basically, the Cerberus used to have ram damage, but now it doesn't. It just straight up doesn't. Okay. And the final thing that has ram damage that I'm aware of is the Bastion, as it has 20% bonus ram damage. So that's just ye old new icons that we're going over. One of the things that I mentioned in the Battle Pass previous was the Kaiju was nerfed, and it was. I'm going to remove this from Garage. I really should have had this set up in advance. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself, so I look bad on my own videos. But we're going to quickly poop out a Kaiju. And we're going to use any cabin. We're going to use the Torero. Why not? Because it's a great cabin. By the way, the Torero buff, mwah, magnificent. We'll cover that in half a tick. The new build is nice, except for some reason, do you see how slow I'm moving around my car? They did it again. I don't know why they keep doing this. Like, they in 2009, there was a zoom feature, not like zoom in on part feature, but there was an actual feature where you could push a button and you would zip around your own your own construction. That button went away. And I was never happy. And I was like, okay, fine. We'll just have to drive around with the speed they gave us. And the speed that they gave us was the one that we've had for, I'd say, a year and a half to 2 years. For whatever reason, they slowed it down again. You're barely moving when you're constructing. It's really frustrating. Anyway, digressions. You guys can now see the Kaiju whips out a massive, massive, girthy 895 damage on its first volley. And now it fires a secondary volley, if you hit with everything, of 1,118. Funny story, this exact same build, this exact same Kaiju, this exact same scenario, pre-patch, did 1,044 base and 1,305 after perk. That's because, as I said in the video, they're air quotes, reducing the burst length by 2 shots. What that meant was a 15% damage decrease. And I can confirm that is a 15% damage decrease. Kaiju nerfed. Sad stuff. Continuing on, we're going to go to the exhibition, and we're going to check out the new gun. What is it, the Theriris? I don't remember the name of this gun. Hold on. Sorry, I know everybody should remember this, especially myself. It is the Theriris. We're going to go with THY. I don't have access to it yet, but people can have created, things in the exhibition that you can dig around with. The only thing that really mattered was how this weapon operates without charges. We know it does 250, 260 per shot. Looks like it's 260. I think it's got 50% penetration. Something like that. But the way this weapon handles without charges is actually kind of nice. It's not great, but it's not bad. It fires 4 shots in sequence. Now, you might think, dang, well, isn't that better or, just as good as the 4 shots at the same time? No. Because the weapon does not start to reload until after the 4th shot is fired. So it is actually a pretty big DPS hit. So, for example, comparing this to... yeah. As you can see, it's a pretty big DPS hit. Once you get your charges back. Yeah. So, is this going to be a good gun? I don't know. I think it'll be fun. Having its perk based on defeating enemies, though, I don't know how that's going to work. But, other than that, I think it's going to be a fun gun. I'm not mad at it. It should be fun. Over functional things that they add to the game should be fun because that's just how it works. Scorpions rock the house. I told you this guy. This is a huge buff to Scorpions. Scorpions, in general, you're never going to get those 1 damage hits again, ever again. These things just rip and shred through everything now, which is what you would expect from a relic. Like big numbers all the time. It's crazy, and you might be thinking, but wait a minute, like the big number potential before was much higher. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. So what you guys don't know is there's an ammo crate right back there, if I recall correctly. And the tracks prevent you from hitting it hard. That's the problem I said that was going to end up happening in And it's here. The problem is that tracks, it's not really a problem, but scorpions, which used to be the absolute king of penetration through large, flat, blocky things, no longer have the ability. Tracks absolutely just completely block scorpions. Does damage get through? Yes, but it's like really low. 2 scorpions combined did 56. Right? Then that's 3 tracks to the next part. And the next part's going to absorb that 56. That's going to be nothing. So if you're using tracks, the correct thing to do, if you are going to run, let's assume this is the build. It's not going to be the build, but let's assume it is. If you're going to, I'm still getting used to this damn construction menu. Sorry. If you want to protect yourself from scorpions, look how slow it is. Oh, it's terrible. Just do this. There you go. The scorpion will hit the track. That's going to get absorbed a lot of the damage, especially since every track has bullet damage reduction. Then it's going to hit the next part, and 50-something Dura is not, 54 damage from 2 scorpions is not going to be enough to destroy this APC roof part. How many shots is that going to take? 3. It will take 3 Scorp shots to shoot this off from the inside of the vehicle. That's going to protect you. That's more or less all you need to protect you from whatever is coming at you. That's pretty crazy. That said, scorpions are going to put up big numbers now. They're a good gun. I like it. Anything else that I need to go over before I go over anything else in the Battle Pass? Let me think. I don't think so. There were other changes. But, oh yeah, that's right. Let's go over these parts real fast because they are actually not just crappy parts. These are just crappy parts. Ignore me. I'm drunk. The other thing, oh yeah, one other minor kibitz, which is a complaint, are these. I don't like strategic reserves in any kind because they're random. They're loot boxes. It means that the money that I paid is not going to be the same as the money that you paid. Because once we reach this level, one of us is going to get something good or one of us isn't, right? So that needs to go. They just need to replace this with static rewards. I do appreciate very much that if you search the entire Battle Pass, they aren't giving you repair kits. No repair kits. That's a big step up. But continuing on with the parts, decent parts, you can cover up your guns better. You've got stickers, yada yada yada. You get more engineer badges, etc. Free workbench tokens. These things, mounting brackets. So mounting brackets are kind of like gun mounts. Obviously, they're like gun mounts because they have pass through, but they're like weaker gun mounts. But they're like stronger gun mounts. These are the weirdest things. These things are the equivalent of the vial. So if you have one of these, the vial is a very interesting part because it's got 90% damage pass through, and it also increases vehicle durability by 28% or by 28. That's unheard of. Usually things with pass through have their own durability, but they don't increase the durability of your cabin. This one does. Well, guess what also does that? The mounting bracket. So doesn't have the full 90% pass through, so its actual durability is 180. That's fine. That's actually quite good, and it increases your vehicle durability by 90. That's a great part. I can't wait to get it. It'll be on a lot of stuff. The thing I really want to show off is this part, though, the cutter. Holy crap. Remember what I said? I was talking about melee weapons earlier, right? So think back to the hatchet. The hatchet and all those other melee weapons that you mount on your build. Those have plus 200% damage. This has plus 300% collision damage. It has lowered structural durability from collision because the other weapons had 90% damage reduction from collision. This only has 80% damage reduction from collision. So you might be thinking, well, that's not that big of a difference for a plus 100% bonus damage. Actually, that's a massive. It means that it literally means this takes twice as much damage because taking 10% damage versus taking 20% damage is a 100% damage difference. So these things exchange their durability for mass damage. These things are pokey to the max. They will Shrek someone apart. Good stuff. I hope you guys enjoy those. More parts. So finally, the Pegasus. The explanation of the Pegasus is actually written there. It says the percentage of penalty reduction is displayed on module health. So we don't need a Scorpion on that. We just need any build using the Pegasus. This one. So this one is getting a 10% reduction to movement part energy drain, basically. You can see that in the bottom left where it says the number 10 next to those weapons. And this one will probably be getting less. This is getting 5% reduction. So the amount that it's giving is not based on the number of movement parts per se. The amount that it's giving is based on the amount that you have. The amount of penalty that you have in the first place. So that means that the greater the movement part penalty that you have, the more the Pegasus reduces. Obviously, that's kind of makes sense, but it's not per part. It's the amount, the higher the penalty. So if you get parts on your build that have a great amount of movement part penalty, like tracks or legs, you will receive a higher bonus immediately than if you have something with lower penalty, such as wheels. This is an interesting cabin. I'm sorry, not cabin. Interesting engine. I think it's going to be fun. The legs are 70 kph, as I mentioned before. They're not bad. All you need to do is keep up with your team. Impact bumper, brand new bumper. This bumper, and the reason why I brought up impact damage, is a better version of the spike. Just straight up a better version of the spike. Not bad. So I look forward to using that. You get more mounting brackets, so you're going to get a total of 4. And I expect to see those on basically everyone's vehicles. Other than that, more strategic reserves, more crap. This awesome paint, actually. I don't dislike that paint. You get a second paint later that is the same pattern, but solid gold with no breaks. The Charbitus I thought was going to be bad, and it is. So, yeah. So you guys remember on stream, everyone's like, oh, not everyone, but every single person that's ever streamed trying to use this is like, oh, I'm gonna test it. And it's like, this is the Charbitus, and this is how it works. And they never manage to destroy the test vehicles because they're bad. And you're like, oh man, that player is bad. When I get the Charbitus, I'm gonna do a great job. No, you're not. Charbitus is meh, and it's meh because even though it's meh because there we go, it's meh because yes, the strike zone increases in size. Like that, but what you don't understand is the actual how do I put this? The damage box increases, but so does the physical model. So because the physical model increases, it means that you push from that point, and it's harder to get contact with the things bigger. So that is the reason why this is a silly weapon. When it is smaller, it is actually probably easier to hit more things on your opponent. So there you have it. I think ultimately, we'll see, but for right now, it is somewhat of a disappointing weapon, though, if I recall correctly, there is a front mount on it that you can put weapons on. What the? Hold on. Is this 3 Charbidai? Someone meant... Okay. This guy managed to put 3 Charbidai right here. Let's see what this looks like here. Maybe. I mean, I guess. I think it looks cool. I don't think that it's going to work very well. I just don't. Nope. So also the other thing, funny story, is the perk of the Charbitus is silly. It doesn't just pop open. It reduces the damage that it deals, which is the reason why you see it taking significantly longer than you expect to get through someone's build. Basically, gets bigger, does 20% less damage. This might be the first candidate for a weapon that you absolutely want to use the... notice how I'm looking for it because I have never used it personally. The Tormentor for. Maybe. This feels like an ideal candidate for the Tormentor because its damage is dog shit and it has a horribly weird perk. So, yeah, no, use that with a Tormentor. Probably fixes all of its problems immediately. New cabin. I mentioned this in my previous video, but I'll mention it here again now while we're here. They did percentage, so there's that. However, 105 kph, welcome back to the video game. I'm fine with that as long as they consider re-upping some cabins like the cockpit back to 105 because that was the thing. That's the whole purpose of the cockpit, right? The purpose of the aggressor is supposed to be fast. So if you're bringing 105 kph back, then they should put it on those other cabins as well. This is going to be a cute cabin to build with. The perk is a little bit bad. Because they have this already. It was the master cabin. And I do not be shocked if 2 patches from now, suddenly the Kronos is the fastest medium cabin in the game. Because, yeah. Already went over the weapon because you guys are thirsty boys. And yeah, that's just about it. Oh, I guess the one thing I would say, they did go over this in the preview and the little first look. After you finish up, you get tons of different levels and different rewards instead of it just giving you an infinity reward all the way up until the end of the battle pass that you purchased for free. Other than that, after that point, yeah, you can get 200 lighters and all these other things like that, but this is you have to pay for. 150 plus, you've paid money, right? Anything 128, 128, didn't pay any extra money. 129 plus, you paid extra money and also played the game simultaneously, or just only paid money. Now that I think about it, you could probably just buy every single level to unlock every single thing. But anyway, that's all I wanted to go over. I'm going to go start streaming the video game and playing in this new Road to Singularity update. I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. This is a battle pass that is actually not bad. It is not a bad battle pass. It is actually worth getting, even if you're a new player. They give you enough movement parts. They give you enough toys to play with, and you actually get to pick your toy. It's not a new toy, but if you're new to the game, of course it's new to you, right? So there's that. Yeah, it's actually there's value in this battle pass. That said, if I were to have given the previous battle pass, Polar Lights, a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 5. It literally hit that bare minimum point of you barely are considering purchasing this. If I had to say that the best battle pass obviously was the Founders Pass, the very first one, and we'll say that's a 10 out of 10, this is about a 7 out of 10. I'd say this battle pass is a 7 out of 10. You get enough fun stuff at basically regular intervals, except for, of course, the beginning, because they're, backloading everything. You get enough parts to make your own vehicle. You even get parts that are already in the game if you're a new player, or even if you're an older player, you still get more teals that you can use to do whatever it is you're going to do, etc. Oh, one final thing. We'll go over the crafting real fast. I just want to point this out because it's funny to me. Where is the relic? I forget where the relic is. It doesn't matter. Let's go to the market and laugh all together at the same time at the price of the Omamori. There it is. Yeah. Oh my God. All right. Thank you all for joining me. I'm glad that you guys are watching my videos. I'm actually going to start streaming more or less right now, so if you're watching up to this point in the video and you're like, well, this just came out and I actually watched, yeah, Cardboard Ninja will actually be streaming moments after this video goes live. So, hope you guys enjoy the new update as much as I do, and this Omamori price that I am presently going to actually make money off of. I'm not greedy, chat. I'm not greedy. I'll take 6,000, I'll take 7,000 coins. I think 7,000 coins is fair, right? It's fair. Yeah, it's fair. All right. I'll see you guys in the wasteland. Peace.